Hello, Committee to Ban Fracking in Michigan volunteers. I'm Luann Cosma, Campaign Director, and this is a campaign update, February 2nd, 2018. Thanks for joining this campaign to ban fracking and frack waste statewide. We've been at it now for 3 years collecting signatures on this petition, and we've now reached 238,000 signatures, which is almost at the minimum required, 252,000. And so we have a little ways to go there. We also need to collect another 50,000 or maybe a little more beyond that in order to have an adequate cushion when we submit the signatures and in order to make sure we have enough. We've already collected essentially 3 football stadiums filled with people, 3 MSU football stadiums. That's how big 238,000 is. And essentially we need another stadium. It's very doable. We just need to get the job done. We've been going beyond the 180-day signature gathering period because we are challenging the unconstitutionality of that law in the courts. We sued a year and a half ago over this, and at that time the courts told us that we sued too soon, that we needed to first collect all the signatures and submit them, and then they would hear the case. So even though we disagreed with that decision and we felt it was somewhat unfair, we also are forced to do this now in order for the courts to hear our case. So it's very important that we get the job done and get into the courts so we can get on the ballot. Our case really is great, and you can read it on our website. We'll be submitting a new lawsuit actually at that time, and hopefully we expect to be heard, and we hope to get a good ruling on it. The deadline to get our proposal before the voters in November of 2018 is at the end of May of this year, so we only have 4 months to collect all the signatures and submit them. Ideally, we'd like to submit the signatures a little earlier than the deadline because we'd like to give a little more time for that lawsuit to get through the courts, even though the courts do expedite election issues, and we should be able to be heard quickly. But what we need to do now are 2 things. First, we need you to turn in all of the signatures that you have on hand, even sheets with just 1 signature on them. We need everything in so we can get a better idea of where we're at right now. And we also need you to continue to collect signatures throughout February, March, and April, and into May if we have to. But these first 3 months are really critical, and we need people to send them in frequently so that they continue to come in throughout the 3-month period. Secondly, we need everyone to help recruit new people into the campaign, and that is going to build our forces up to where we need them to be, and then we'll be able to have an adequate number of people collecting. Here's a little bit more information about both of these tasks. First, a lot of people hold on to their signatures for quite a long time, thinking that they don't want to waste a sheet, but we've printed enough sheets so that we can just average 5 signatures or even 3 signatures per sheet. It's okay to have just 1 signature on a sheet. I know it's a pain to write your, print and sign and date the sheets for all of those sheets, but it's just a necessary part of this process, and the sooner we get those signatures in, the better. The longer you hold on to the sheets, they also get more damaged, and a damaged sheet, depending on the damage, may not be counted at all. So it's extremely important also for you to send them in so that we can process them. The process involves first we look them over very carefully for birth dates. We cross all of those folks out. As you know, a birth date does not count, and we cannot fix that. We also look at the city and township column to see if that is correct, but we don't look them all up. We don't ourselves. We just make some obvious fixes that we can visibly see. And then we turn these over to a company that we pay to look up every single signature. And that's so valuable because then they tell us which signatures to cross out because they are duplicate. Duplicates cancel each other out, and we really should not submit duplicates because it's a very big problem to do that. So we we'll be crossing out the duplicates. We'll be crossing out all of the names of people who have signed on the wrong county sheet. They may be perfectly valid voters, but if they've signed on the wrong county sheet, we have to cross those out. What we are able to fix is the county, or, I'm sorry, the city and township column, and that we get that wrong a lot. So all of those would be lost if we did not hire this company to look up every single signature for us. So it's critical. Sometimes we also have to send back a petition sheet. In fact, quite a few times we have to send back a petition sheet to the circulator because they did not date it, or they did not finish the certification or just missed that sheet completely, didn't sign it, in the batch of sheets that they've given me. And so we have to send them back, and they have to send them back. And so this takes time. So the more signatures we get sooner, the better we are, because we can get all of this done more quickly. We also have a counter on the website now, so you can go to letsbanfracking.org and see where we're at. And we sure would like signatures to come in more quickly so that we can better gauge our progress and that people are more encouraged by our progress. When you hold on to them for weeks or even months, that slows down the counter. Right now, we have about 200 people who were active in the campaign in recent months or who have just joined us. So that's great, but we need many more people. Basically, we need the equivalent of 400 people who would average 200 signatures each. So in order to get this, the required number of signatures in, or a desirable amount of signatures, I should say. So we need to double or triple our numbers, and this is where you come in. One way you can get new people to join our campaign is to just spread the word by phone calling people that you know, friends, family, neighbors, people that you know on social media. Spread the word on social media and get people to go to our website and sign up that way. Really, another way that's even better than that, although that's something I would really like everyone to do, is to recruit people as you are out there collecting. That's really one of the best ways, is when we're out there meeting a brand new person face to face and they're excited about our campaign. They tell you all these wonderful things like, oh, thank you for your work. I'm so glad you're doing this. And they're very supportive. That's the kind of person to ask, or just ask more frequently of everyone who signs, that we do need more people. We really want to get this on the ballot. Would you please help us? And the next thing to do is to get their name and all of their contact information right then and there. Carry a separate piece of paper or pad with you for that purpose, or you could even put it in the section on the right where the emails are. Take their phone number and their email and their full address and their name. So we have everything that we need. And when you get home, plug that person into the website. Go to letsbanfracking.org, go to volunteer, and put a little note in there that this person met you at such and such a place. You don't have to do that, but that way I'll know you recruited that person, and let me know if the person's got petitions from you or clipboards from you, and that way I'll know if I need to send them or not. We have some coordinators around the state, not very many right now. We'd like to have many more. So if you'd like to do that for the campaign, we really would like your help on that. Please call me at 231-944-8750, the campaign phone, if you'd like to help with coordinating. We've got 350 clipboards that we just made up with the signed petition here sign and the county list, and new petitions that we've just printed up with the new deadline dates on the tab, all ready to go in an envelope, ready for these new people. So we just need to distribute these clipboards around the state a little bit better and get them into people's hands as you recruit them. If you can mentor 10 people or more and do that for the campaign, that would really be a big help. And if you could contact me as soon as possible, please do. There are a lot of places to collect signatures during the winter. There are winter festivals that are outdoors, festivals of all kinds, like ski races and sledding races and chili cook-offs, lots of outdoor ice festivals every weekend around the state. And then there are just local things in the local parks. Um, there are a lot of sports going on right now, basketball games, there are theater productions, concerts at concert venues where you can get a bunch of signatures at where people are lining up to go into an event. There are places like uh, just downtowns where there's an active street life of people walking around and going to the coffee shops and restaurants and breweries. In front of breweries is a really good place before the evening um, social gathering times. Um, so all of those places are good. Secretary of State's offices, if they are on a major street, a public sidewalk, and sometimes if they are in um, a strip mall, private kind of location, we're not allowed to be there unless the owner of that mall has no problem with it. So there are many of the super centers where Secretary of States are located that it's perfectly fine for us to be there. Please go to those places because it's a good flow of traffic, and a lot of the people that are going to these offices are not necessarily out at the festivals. They don't go to this location on a regular basis, so it's always new faces, and they're really good collection opportunities. College campuses are also very good, um, and we really need to be there at all the college campuses, community colleges, the universities, but we must make sure that students are signing on the correct sheet. Oftentimes a student doesn't know, well, many of them are not registered as well, and they may not even know that. But the biggest problem too is that they don't know exactly where they're registered, if it's back home or if it's at a previous address, and they do move year to year. So the best thing to do is to have them look up their status on their using their phones, and you just go to michigan.gov/vote, and that address is on the back of our petitions in the instruction section. And it just takes less than a minute for them to just plug in their name, their birth date, and their zip code, and there it is. It'll say their county and which city or township they're registered to vote in, and now you know which sheet they should be signing. If we don't do this, please get into the habit of it on college campuses in particular, because otherwise our validity rate in those locations will be very low. And that's just a known thing by all the petitioning groups, that we really must get a better validity rate when we do college campus collecting. So just use michigan.gov/vote, have them look it up, and then we'll know that we have a good signature. So let's ban fracking and frack waste in Michigan and get those signatures in, get them in frequently, and do your best to find new people in all the different ways that you can. Really, the face-to-face interaction that we have with people is probably the best way. And the more you're out there, the more we're pressing the issue with the public, and the more people see us actively doing the campaign, the more apt they are to join our effort. Hundreds of people have been involved in our campaign over these last few years, and we really appreciate all of our collective effort in this. It's not something that just a small group of people can do, but we do need everyone who's with the campaign to keep with it throughout this time and see it through to the end. If you haven't been active in a while and you'd like to get active again, we need you back, and hope that you'll get into contact with us again and get more sheets and get active again. We only have these 4 months to be successful with this particular deadline, and I really hate to miss this deadline. So we really want to get the word out on Facebook and in other ways. We are called the Committee to Ban Fracking in Michigan on Facebook. So get to our Facebook page, like us, and send our posts around as much as you can, and that will really spread the word too. Thank you, and please call me if you have any questions. I'm available on the campaign phone. That's why we have it. No question is too minor. I'm happy to answer any of your questions, and thank you for stepping up and being a part of this. We've got to win it. Thanks.